If you have ever tried to buy a computer or a laptop or a smartphone or graphics card, you have seen a lot of RAM types like DDR3, 4, DDR5 or like GDDR6 or LPDDR. So a lot of confusing terms, right? But here's the thing that every single one of these RAM are built for specific jobs. Like some of are built for speed, some of them are built for efficiency, some are for battery saving, so some are just for keeping the nuclear reactors from collapsing. So in the next few minutes, we are going on a journey of learning about the RAMs of the 90s eras, the hot and slow RAMs, to the newest eras, the edge AI or the RAMs that power up these AI technologies. So by the end of this video, you will exactly know what this DDR, LPDDR or GDDR mean. So let's rewind the tape at the very beginning of our story. So our story starts at the late 1990s. Back then, PCs used something called SDRAM. It was revolutionary, but there was a massive bottleneck. So it could only send data once per clock cycle. So it was like a delivery man that could carry one package just at a time. So then just came a breakthrough that was DDR RAM. DDR stands for double data rate, and it was revolutionary because it could send twice the data on per clock cycle. But in the earlier days, the DDR1 and DDR2 was very rough. So they were just very slow at today's standards, and they ran very hot at very early, and obviously they were troublesome. So they were very awkward phase of the early RAM stages. So after that, there came the DDR3. It was just a massive leap forward, and it was faster, cooler and very smarter. But it was just held back by the software at its time. So do you obviously remember the Windows Vista? That operating system was just a memory hog. It made the DDR3 RAM feel like very sluggish. It was just like giving a race car someone who was just stuck in the traffic jam. So now we entered the age of DDR4, and it was just fantastic. It was fast and it was reliable, and it obviously worked for years. It was the backbone of the modern computing. But as the games became very complex and obviously the programs became very sophisticated, we needed more of these RAMs. So as a result, the 8GB RAM became the minimum and the 16GB RAM became the standard. And obviously a 32GB RAM just for the standard power users. So that rush of RAM space just brings us to the modern DDR5. And this is the new flagship RAM. So it was just not only the faster version of DDR4, it was just a new architecture, a new invention. It has more bandwidth, more capacity and more speed, and obviously compatible for gaming and AI era. But here's the thing, the DDR5 is just the tip of the iceberg. Because there are different types of RAM just specialized for different types of work, and there are a few of them. So we have just seen the evolution of the PC memory, but that's just the one side of the story. So RAM is just like a toolbox, and that can be designed for every type of function you just need. So let's break down the major tiers of the RAM. First up, the VRAM or the video RAM. You see this type of RAM in the graphics card of your PC, and these are called the GDDR or the graphics double data rate RAM. GDDR6 and GDDR6X are the current kings. Their job is simple: feed the GPU with textures, shaders and frame data at lightning speed. So if you're a gamer, this type of RAM matters the most for your smooth and high performance gameplay. It's the feel of your game engine. Next is LPDDR, which stands for low power DDR. This is the RAM in your phone and your thin and light laptop. It's designed for one thing above all else: battery life. It achieves this using less voltage and having a deep sleep mode. So here you just trade off a little bit of peak speed or performance just for a lot of extra hours of battery life. And that's a perfect trade-off for your phones. So now let's talk about the serious one, the ECC RAM. So ECC stands for error correcting code. This RAM doesn't care about speed. It cares about your accuracy. It can detect and fix tiny errors in memory before they cause a system crash. This is what you find in servers, data centers, or financial workstations. Because when you are running a computer server or a stock exchange server, a simple mistake is just not a mistake, it's a catastrophe. So next up, the tier 4 is the registered or the buffered RAM. So this type of RAM are also for servers but for different purposes. It uses a special register chip to reduce the electrical load on the memory controller. This lets you put massive amounts of RAM in a single system. We are talking about 512 GB or 1 TB or more. So it's like a bridge that lets you build a super highway with a lot of lanes in there. And finally, for the cutting edge, we have the Tier 5, the HBM, high bandwidth memory. This is a 3D stacked memory used in supercomputers, AI accelerators, and the most powerful GPUs. It's not about capacity, it's about bandwidth, moving massive amounts of data incredibly fast. So it's a rocket fuel for the scientific simulations and artificial intelligence. So let's recap the family tree of the RAM. The main trunk is the DRAM, the dynamic RAM we use everywhere. So from there, it branches into DDR, your PC's main memory, GDDR, the graphics card's memory, LPDDR, your phone's efficient memory, and the server class, ECC, and registered RAM. So each branch is specialized and obviously highly optimized for the field it's working on. So the next time you see a list of RAM specs, you just don't get intimidated. Just ask yourself, what is the machine designed to do? If it's for gaming, you want fast DDR and plenty of VRAM. If it's a phone, you want LPDDR. If it's a server, you need ECC. So RAM is not something like that one size fits to all. It's a toolbox where every tool is a master of its own domain. So that's why we have a lot of RAM types in the specification, and you have to just choose the right one for your type of project. So what type of RAM just surprised you the most? Was it the power saving LPDDR or the most precise and accurate ECC RAM? So just let me know in the comment section. And if you are a maker or a developer and want to know the most specialized type of RAMs inside a microcontroller, I have a video for you. Just click the video on the screen on the left or the right. So make sure to like, subscribe, and press the notification bell icon so you don't miss any future videos in the channel. So thank you very much for watching Roborear, and I will meet you in the next video.